nothing is super efficient if you're not a minimalist.
Yeah.
So most of these companies are trying to have the lightest system or have the lightest stand, have the lightest sticks, try and figure out the easiest way that you can get to your spot with the lightest amount of weight. And we kind of took a different approach.
Welcome to another episode from the 2025 Iowa Deer Classic. I'm your host, JP Ashworth, Keith Coleman and Ridge Ghost, Chad Vineyard, and we are with Gabe with Nested Treestand Systems. He's here to talk a little bit about their product, and just to put a little backstory from what I've seen, when y'all came out last year,
Yep.
you could not keep these things on the shelf.
No, we launched with limited inventory just for what we could have produced right away, and trying to forecast the launch of a new brand it's a scary thing, right? So
Yeah.
you just don't know what you're going to go through, and we're like, well, we need to make some money and we want to get some of these out there, but we don't want to overshoot it and just be stuck with something if it crashes and burns. And we sat the first day last year at the Iowa Deer Classic and talked to a lot of people, a lot of high-level conversations, but didn't sell a thing that first Friday. And we all went to bed that night and we're like, well, we could tuck our tails, or we go out there tomorrow and maybe it's a different crowd. And it was a completely different story the next day.
Really?
I think we were sold out by noon on Saturday.
That's
and we had
awesome.
guys like, yeah, can we get pre-orders? And we didn't want to do pre-orders because I don't want to make promises that I potentially can't keep. So we're like, we'll just get you on an email list, and when things are back in stock, we'll honor the show pricing. And the next 3 shows we went to was the same story. Like, we thought we'd have inventory, but it's gone. So
what do you
Good
think?
problem to have.
Yeah, right. That's
What
what
do
I was about to say. Good problem to have.
What do you
man.
think it was on that first day last year? Were there a lot of people that came back Saturday that you saw that first day that you maybe need to think about it, or was?
yeah, because it's a new brand, right? So there's the mobile space is highly competitive.
Yeah.
Everybody, for the most part, has been around for a few years. When you're the new guy showing up, you kind of have that chip on your shoulder. But what the whole system, plus we launched it at an intro price that we're not going to touch again, so it was highly competitive on the price as well. But we had a lot of good feedback, just problems that were solved, and that was kind of the whole idea of why we came out with the system. There's so many different, and there's not that many, but a lot of different competition where there's companies that offer lightweight stands and different sticks, and there's so many different ways to skin the cat of how you want to pack in a mobile hunt. The problem always is,
Hey folks, JP, and real quick, we want to take a little time to say thank you to our sponsors. The first one being Ape Canyon. For over 40 years, the crew at Ape Canyon Outfitters has been keeping the best of the best safe. Fire rescue teams, law enforcement, the U.S. military, even the Secret Service and Navy SEALs. Yeah, these guys don't mess around when it comes to safety. And now they're bringing that same elite level of expertise to the hunting world with their hunting saddles, ropes, and accessories, all 100% made in the USA at their shop in Butler, Pennsylvania. Give hunters the same confidence and reliability the professionals have trusted for decades. So when you gear up with Ape Canyon Outfitters, you're not just getting solid gear, you're investing in safety, quality, and a rock-solid reputation. Check them out today at apecanyonOutfitters.com.
is that nothing is super efficient if you're not a minimalist.
Yeah.
So most of these companies are trying to have the lightest system or have the lightest stand, have the lightest sticks, try and figure out the easiest way that you can get to your spot with the lightest amount of weight. And we kind of took a different approach where we still have a lightweight tree stand. We want to be in the mobile game, so it's got to be lightweight, but just allow people that can't be a minimalist, meaning like, hey, I need extra layers, or maybe I like to bring snacks, or just other stuff that
Camera gear.
Yeah, like
no,
me
camera gear,
specifically.
yeah,
Like, I film everything personally for my YouTube channel. I did all the brand content work in-house for this brand, and just product testing. Like I said, I'm tossing in an A7S3 mirrorless camera, multiple lenses, camera arms, and you can't do that if you don't have a pack. I mean, if you just have a stand that sticks, you're screwed. So, but something that was designed to fit together was what didn't exist in the industry. So everybody would get a stand from this brand, and maybe they like somebody else's stick, so they hodgepodge that together, and then they're like, oh, we got to get a pack. Well, nothing's designed to lock everything together. Like my first system was, I had an XOP stand, I had Hawk helium sticks, and I bought a Sitka cargo box because they could have a way to kind of similar to this. It just didn't flow very well, right? So I threw all my crap in that bag, and you'd be walking out, and you're like, oh, think I can bring everything to the tree. but I got 90% of the weight on the right shoulder, and I'm walking sideways, and
Yeah.
I got crap banging and making noise, and we just wanted a way to have something super efficient, everything nests together in one streamlined design, and just not only safer, faster, but just carries nice. So.
Right.
And what I like about this box here is, and I was telling one of you guys over there, so I've got one of those big packs that I carry everything in, but once you hang it up, it all just kind of collapses. If you want to go, you got to go dig and you got to move stuff.
Yep.
Where this kind of maintains its form, you've got it on the tree, you can zip it. It's like a little box on the side of the tree, and you can go and get what you need.
And
Yeah.
we were talking about, like, for us, we hunt 120 days out of the year, sometimes. And you're right. We've talked about this, I don't know how many times. We don't have a camera bag with everything that'll match. This is,
It's been a conversation
for a
lot
while.
of times.
Yeah,
for a
And
while.
I'm super excited about trying it this year. I think it's going to be
I think it's going to be a game changer for you,
neat
buddy.
and fun. And, I mean,
Well, and a lot
to be able
of
to
times,
throw it all together in literally no time. First time I tried to put it back together, like, it was easy. And I can tell you the way that I'm running everything right now, it goes back together pretty quick, but it ain't easy and it ain't never exactly the same.
Well, that's
Right,
just it too,
right.
right? When you have more time, you're at home. You can pack stuff the way you want to do it. But as soon as you're out in the woods, it gets dark outside. Nobody wants to sit at the base of the
Nope.
tree
No.
and fudge around with.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
this
yeah.
wasn't quite it, but I'm going to lock this cam strap and Jimmy rigged the whole thing. And now it's just everything goes together in its spot. It's simple and easy. I mean, the first time you use the stand, even like when we were product testing prototypes, like my first start to finish, I got to the base of the tree. By the time I was fully set up, it was probably 45 minutes, but it was still me trying to learn, like, I know how it's supposed to work, but I got to figure out, like, and I get up there and I'm like, I left my cam strap down in the bag and I need that to hang the tree stand. So there's a system within the system, but I mean, at this point now, between 5 and 10 minutes, depending on how high I get in the tree, like, I'm fully set. It's quiet. It's just super efficient. But, the carrying in part, that was the other thing we were trying to market. It's not just, we don't put a whole lot of effort into trying to be like, we're the lightest stand. Like, it's a great stand, but conversations had happened before we had launched this. Like, we had talked to some guys that hunt Appalachia, right? And so these guys are actually mountain hunting whitetails. Not Rocky Mountain stuff, but they're still, a couple hundred feet in elevation changes. And some of these guys are packing in well over a mile. And when they go to hunt, they're going to hunt all day. So they're not just, they want food, they need water, they need all this extra stuff. Even if they kill a deer, they got game bags that they got to
Right.
pack stuff out. So we're like,
Have you gone to a PA show, by the way, like anywhere in Pennsylvania? Because-
we didn't show in Harrisburg, but we went and walked the
Yes.
show to see if it was worth going to.
But
It's a long show.
It- Yeah.
It's Great American.
It's a
Great
9-day bender, yeah.
Yeah. We split it up we go to it too, but we split it up, between crews and everything. But
Yeah.
the way you just said that, like, I don't know how many people I heard say that in Pennsylvania. Like, there is not a crew or not a saddle setup or anything like that that's kind of geared towards it. Like, honestly, that is what that would be really, really good at.
Sure,
Like,
and what exists right now is guys are compromising, whether it's safety or just comfortability, like on an all-day hunt. They're like, I want to go hunt all day, but I don't have a way to bring everything that's going to help me do that, so I'm just going to suck it up and do it. And now
Right.
you have
Yeah.
a way, and it carries efficiently. So our biggest design feature I kind of want to talk about is how it replicates a Western-style frame pack. In the whitetail world, especially at this show, it's shocking to me how many whitetail hunters have no idea how a Western-style frame pack works. It's just completely different. But you go out west, as soon as you hit the Dakotas and you're out in the mountains, like, everybody uses a frame pack. You can't hunt elk in the mountains without one. And it's designed to disperse most of the weight to your shoulders and hold the weight as tight to your back as possible. So your pack may weigh 60 pounds, but it's not like you're curling 60 pounds,
Right.
right?
Right.
I mean, it's the strongest part of your body is in your legs and your hips. It supports your body all day long. You walk, you talk, versus trying to rest it on your arms. I mean, if you put all the weight on your arms or your shoulders, they're going to get tired.
Oh, yeah.
Your hips, they might burn, but it's not, it's so much easier to carry the weight on your hips. And that's what we did. We replicated a Western-style frame pack. It has an adjustable shoulder yoke, so it fits different size guys. The waist belt, like, the pack is designed to fit you as a person. Like, you adjust it once, and that's it. It's your pack. I mean,
Right.
you could share it with a buddy and have them readjust it, but it's got the load lifters, the weight disbursement. Like, it's all thought about with this pack.
That's and looking at it, you don't even have to pitch it. Just looking at it, we
looks
know
good.
that it all goes together. Like,
But I will say one thing I'm excited about is the knee pads.
Yeah.
yes.
So when I walked over there earlier, I saw the seat flipped up and I saw the knee pads and I was like, oh yeah, because there's a lot of people, and I did it up to about a year ago. I was still using the base of one of my climbers as my platform, but I would sit in the saddle, until I switched over. So the opportunity to be able to have those knee pads, turn around, sit, or, just fold the seat down, have your little platform to set whatever on. I don't know if you brought that with you, but
No, I didn't. So it's our Equalizer, and we debated bringing it to the show.
Did you say
not.
Equalizer?
Yeah, okay, so I named that product.
I love. No, wait, tea time. No. I love it. We're laughing because it's great. They might be laughing because they're laughing.
We have so many names. We're like, well, do we just call it the tree pad, the crab claw? Like trying to give it a name, and I'm like, well, because we don't produce saddle stuff, but we want to bridge the gap between hybrid hunting, right? So that's where that comes into play.
Very
we
important.
designed it to fit right over the Z8 tree stand, but it also comes with its own bracket. So if you have a saddle platform and you want an E-pad, like the Equalizer's your thing. So I named it that because I thought about it. I'm like, Equalizer kind of equalizes the playing field between saddle hunting and tree stand hunting.
I like it.
Hence
I
the
love
Equalizer plus you use your knees. So
I love it. I think
That's
that's brilliant.
would you want to pull out maybe one of these sticks here and show
we call those rails. That's
the rails, excuse me, yes.
The other
That's a rail.
marketing thing that I'm trying to change with our branding, right? So you got, not that my cord's stuck, rails that nest together, whether you want 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, doesn't matter. I mean, you could fit 20 of these together. It's just not going to fit in the pack. The 35 liter was designed to fit 5. We've had guys that fit 6, depending on how high you want to get in the tree. But streamlined design. There's no metal on metal because we have the nylon clips that hold everything in place, and then they just simply pop off. So as you're climbing a tree, we have an attachment where these would sit on your hip on the waist belt, and you just one hand pull it off, climb up to the next one, set the next one. So you should never have to climb your tree twice. That's the number one goal with this. And I don't know how many guys are still doing that. If you're new to mobile hunting and you don't have a system figured out, there may be guys out there that are climbing the tree 3 times, because they're holding their sticks in their hands and they're trying to figure out, oh crap, so we just kind of took that hassle out of it, and then
you hold that and you want to show them the rest. Yeah.
Let me get a look at that real quick.
Well, I'm gonna put one back here. No, I'm just kidding.
So otherwise we got the entire pack. So basically, if I was at the base of my tree right now, first thing I would do is take those light rails off. I'm gonna clip this back together just for video sakes. And there's a couple different clips. This is so interesting to do this with the cord hanging around. Unclip. There's 2 side stability straps. Unclip those. G-hooks at the top that just slide in.
Yep.
And you take those off. There we go. And you got a free bag, right?
Yeah.
In that bag, there's a lot of hidden secrets that we could talk for hours about all the different features in it, but if you wanted to leave the stand in the tree overnight and you're like, I'm going to hunt here tomorrow morning.
And there's a drop-down shelf.
Yeah, it's a float shelf. So if you want to use the full main compartment storage
so
for
you
shoving
can use
jackets
this
or whatever.
to put calls or whatever in while you're in the tree.
Yeah, that would be the shelf that you hunt out of.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting in your stand and you have the pack hanging off your cam strap on the tree stand, it's right there at your hips. So you don't have to stand up.
That
You don't
holds
have to
a lot.
lean over.
Dude, that's fine.
That's 35 liters?
35 liters
35
between
liters.
all the compartments plus the dump pouches on the side.
Laser
35
cut
liters.
molly.
Yep.
And that's like I said, it's when you hang it up, it's not going to collapse down.
No, it's got a structure inside. It's made out of durable ripstop fabric, and there's hideaway backpack straps that tuck into the backside there too. So if you want to use it as a day pack or just hike it out of the tree.
How about that?
Dude, everything is thought of.
There's even hidden gear straps on the bottom of it. So if you want to pack in more layers, you just pull the gear straps out of there, hook them onto the hooks.
Can't remember where they come. No, right there.
Yeah, so you can pull those out and
Underneath. Oh,
yep,
okay.
roll up a sweatshirt or a jacket. We're from Northwest Wisconsin, so to extend your deer season, our deer season for archery, typically the second weekend or third weekend in September. It's always around the 16th or 17th, but goes until the first week of January, or even some counties you can hunt until January 31st. We had multiple days in January that were -30, -40 with the wind chill. If you want to deer hunt, you gotta stay
be
warm,
ready
right?
for it.
So you're packing.
Yeah, you got to be ready up there.
It's a way different conversation than talking to somebody that lives in southern Missouri, Kentucky. They're like, well, we don't need to pack in extra stuff. And it's great. Now you just have storage you don't need to use. But for guys like us, if we want to pack in, even sit for 2 hours, bibs, jacket, multiple mid layers, and just other stuff. And if you're walking in, even 80 acres, you're going a half mile while it's cold out. If you wear all that walking in, guess what?
You dying.
You're sweaty, and then you're going to sit in the cold and freeze to death. It's so stupid. So it's you'd rather walk in light, But then you can't carry your layers, so now we have the extra storage to just rig it up. And instead of tying jackets around your waist or hanging them over your stand, it's all got a spot.
And
That's
I was
awesome.
impressed even with this. There was a guy over there bigger than me bouncing on the side of it. And
Of one of the rails?
No,
on
the
that?
actual platform,
On the platform.
platform stand. Yeah.
like, that's a big dude to be hopping up and down on that thing, and he was. And
Well, I was talking too, looking at those rails, the way they're in there, I mean, that'd be hard to kick one of those out. I mean, you'd have to really be doing something you're probably not supposed to.
Yeah, it's the whole dual post design with that is just offers more stability. Everybody sticks in the industry, which is why I'm trying to coin the term rail, because it's not a stick, it's a rail,
it
right?
is.
So it's like an individual ladder section is the way I kind of break it down for guys.
Yep.
Your stick, when it's centered on the tree, your attachment point has to wrap around, and that's why it allows for pivoting, because that strap angle's angled at a such steep degree that if you put too much weight on one side or the other, like, yeah, you can kick out because there's whatever that distance is. With the rails, because you have two points of contact that are separate from each other, I mean, there's a gap in there. It's like 9 inches or something on that light rail. And the strap on your average tree pulls directly into the tree once you pull it tight. So it's not pulling at an angle. It's pulling straight into the tree from two different sides. So if you try to bang on the bottom, it's going to take a lot to try and kick that rail out.
What about this right here, the stand part on the
old
platform?
Z8, yeah. So we
Look at that.
did that a little bit different than other tree stands. It seems to be a trend in the industry right now where with your lightweight tree stand, this folds back a different way, and they actually have the seat that provides like a gear shelf, right?
Right.
Which is everybody else's way to try and form a system. You set a pack on there. Well, we wanted to make the entire platform and tree stand the frame of the frame pack. So that's why we have it folding back through the tree blade, designed like that. And it's a slim profile. It's like 3 inches thick when it's all flat, flattened out.
That's nuts,
That is
dude.
nice.
That is, as they say in the South, jam up.
Let's jam up, boy.
That's new for me.
that'll do.
That'll do, man.
That'll work.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got I guess the system.
Yeah, that's technically a part of the core pack. So when you buy the core pack, you get the gear bag, but then you also get the waist belt adjustable shoulder yoke, and it's designed to fit specifically on our Z8 tree stand. We've had a couple people ask, can I run that on my whatever else hang-on I have? You can't, because we have a patented Z-shaped profile. That edge kind of replicates like an I-beam, and that's how we're allowed to shave out some of the materials while increasing the durability and cut out some weight.
That's
So
amazing.
It's not too often you see a cast aluminum tree stand of that size at 8.6 pounds.
Jeez Louise, that's way light, dude.
Yeah.
That's all.
So, real quick, what other shows you guys going to be at this year?
I'll be
Just so
at
the
the-
listeners can hear.
We'll be at the Minnesota Deer Classic next week. I don't even know what the dates are, like the 17th or something like that. Does that sound
Gotcha.
right? Yeah. And then we'll be at the Wisconsin Open Season Show in the Wisconsin Dells the last weekend of March. And then we've been hit up by a couple different companies or shows, I guess, over the summer.
Yeah.
I go to a lot of shows. I don't want to go. I don't want to go to too many shows because, we get 3 months of summer in the state of Wisconsin, and the first half is built up with weddings and other stuff. So we'll see. But
Gotcha.
it's been cool. We love showing this thing off. The consumer reaction has been well beyond what we expected. Like I said, we were nervous when we first launched because we were waiting for, I call them the hardos, the guys that are like, oh, no, that's too much shit packed in the bag. It's like, hold on. Let me explain it, and then, just try it on. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
Right.
It's not for everybody, but for guys that have been struggling to find something, I mean, this just took a lot of the work out of it.
For us, that took everything. That's checked off every box.
That makes
Especially
it
with the camera
real
gear.
simple with camera gear.
Yeah.
Because where I'm at in South Alabama, mid Alabama, I'm not worried about layers too much.
Yeah.
There's a little bit, but camera gear,
Yeah,
lenses,
that's-
and snacks, and
Oh,
more
dude.
snacks. Yeah,
Dude, that's
absolutely.
incredible.
Where
Well,
did the
just
pack
other
go?
stuff.
And
Other
shit.
stuff
Right
people
here, buddy.
don't think about, right? Like you bring your lineman's belt, you don't want to wear that in, so you
Right.
got to have a pocket for that. And then, if you're not using that as your tree tether, you got an extra rope, or guys that have gear straps or bow hangers or whatever they're gonna. There's so much stuff you could fill. The only downside is you give somebody an option to have this much storage. People fill it up.
Oh, they
Like,
gonna
they're-
fill it up.
Yeah.
They gonna fill it up.
Guys got bringing stuff that they don't even need in the tree stand. They're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring phone charger or whatever. Like maybe you want to bring that or whatever, but
You know how
just
many
extra stuff
times-
because you have the room for it.
You know how many times I'll drop stuff, though, because the pack smashes down and you stick stuff in the top, hoping that it'll stay.
Right,
and you
hoping
go to
it'll
grab
ride.
one thing and something else falls out because
Yep.
you don't have something like this that will allow you access, visual and hands-free access without digging and
Yeah.
knocking everything
Yeah.
else out of the tree. I mean, sometimes it gets wild and
Oh, yeah.
you start just moving, doing things, and
Yep.
And he
Makes it
said
easy.
something that it really resonated with me, and it makes perfect sense when you said it's hard to be super efficient when you're also trying to be minimalist.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just, it
Yes.
is.
That makes
You have
so
to-
much sense.
You have to compromise certain things, but that's up for you as a hunter to decide, like, what am I willing to get rid of in order to maintain the weight or the, you
Yeah.
know, whatever. And that might be,
Trade-offs.
yeah, the trade-off could be you're going to sit 2 hours less because you can't take the cold, or it's, I'm not going to sit all day because I didn't bring any water. I got no room for water. And It's just stuff like that that a lot of guys don't think about until they're in the situation. And it's
Right.
like, oh, it would be nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we just took that factor out of there. And there's, even in this gear bag, like there's a water bladder pouch on one of the sides that has like a porthole for a hose. So if you want to pack in like a 3-liter water
That is-
bladder, like,
that's
yeah, you can
awesome.
bring it.
I'm just
So-
saying, like, everything.
Yeah.
You sold me, buddy. Dang it. My wife's going to be so mad.
So, and-
Weren't you going to get a new bow too?
Yeah. She's going to be
you
so
listening,
mad.
Robin?
She's going to be so. I'm going to sell my other stuff as soon as I get home.
and the best thing,
I'm serious. Can I get show price when I go back?
we can talk about it.
Okay, look, he said off camera. Off camera. I tried to put him on blast so he'd say yes.
That was one of the other points I wanted to bring up too. Is I think we upset some people at the show. I'm not naming names, but we upset some people when we came to the show with the price that we offered. Like, we sell this on our website, the entire system. You get the 35-liter core pack, you get the stand, you get 3 bear rails for $550. That's what we sell it at. There are tree stands being sold in this building for $500-$600 just for the tree stand.
right.
And, you know, we're not trying to make a bunch of money. Obviously, we're a business. We need to have some profit. So there is some margin in there, but we're not claiming crazy margins.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the point across that, you know, a lot of guys are just overpaying for tree stands.
Right.
So,
I get it. I get it.
And in comparison, you're getting more.
Dude,
Well, you are.
Dude,
I mean, you're getting
just
so much
dude,
more for the money.
That's you're crazy if you don't leave the building with one of these.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
especially as a mobile hunter, dude. That to me that changed the game, buddy.
and it doesn't even have to be your primary system. Like, I mean, we've sold a lot of guys just, you know, they have their stand, they have, you know, their stand and a couple sticks for when they're only walking a couple hundred yards. It's early season, like, you don't need all of that, but for the price, just to have one, if your buddy calls you up from Ohio and he's like, yeah, I'm going to go hunt, you know, in the hills and we're packing in 1.5 miles, you're like, shit, I don't have anything to do that with. Well, there you go. Use it a couple times a year, and
The reality
It pays
is
for that pays
the,
for itself.
The
dude.
weight's not even a big deal.
No.
Just don't put as much stuff in it if you're going for a
Exactly.
short trip.
Yeah.
I'd rather. I mean, that's one of the most comfortable full packs.
That is the most comfortable
That
full
I put
pack that
on.
I've ever put on. The first thing I said is, "Can I put this thing on?" They were like, "Dude, go for it."
I wish
Like-
everybody did that, because the first initial thing is they just grab the tree stand and they try to do a curl. And
Right.
They're like, I mean, there's some people that are like, wow, that's light. And then there's, you know, the hardos that I call them. They're like, I don't know, that's not super light. I'm like, you're missing the point. Like, once you have it on and the weight's on your hips, you know, this stand in system right now, as you see it, I mean, it's just sub 24 pounds, which that number in the mobile industry doesn't sit well. But like I said, when it's on your hips and 24 pounds turns into 10 pounds,
Yeah,
Exactly,
24 pounds on
exactly,
your hips with
exactly.
padded straps and nice and fit
Yep.
you correctly.
It's
Or-
not hanging on one side
Or
and hurt
don't
you halfway
fill
through.
it full of little Debbie's and lose 10 pounds of body weight. There you go.
yeah, I was gonna say that's the other thing. Like, you know,
Hey, we're talking about hunters.
Hey, dude,
Oh,
I can't
sorry
leave my
about that.
Star Crunch at home. You're out of your mind. I'm gonna pack
Told
2
you,
Star
Star
Crunch through that sucker. That pouch full of Star Crunch,
dude,
right there.
everything. I mean, just
Well, that's awesome. Gabe, man, we appreciate you coming
Yes,
on.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Where can they
absolutely.
find you at and your product?
NestedTreestands.com. We sell online. We're not in retail right now, but like I said, we're at shows. For the next couple shows we go to, we do have some special show pricing, so stop into the booth, say hi, and snag yourself a deal. Otherwise, we're selling online, free shipping, and
Try it on.
there's
Try it on.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
try it on if you can at shows. Otherwise, you know, we got a lot of stuff going on. There's more stuff coming down the pipe than just an Equalizer, which we're hoping's ready by May. It sounds like it's going to be ready by May.
Good.
Obviously
gonna be
before
good.
season, and there will be some other newer stuff coming out too. It's one of those things. That's the other thing about the mobile industry is you can't just make something and call it good for a couple of years.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
just
You got to be innovating.
clap about
Always.
it, like we launched it, on to the next.
On to the next.
Yep.
Well, you guys get a chance to come back down to the actual studio, and if you guys want to launch anything or anything like that, we'd love to have you down. On.
Absolutely.
Well, good, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you,
That's
gentlemen.
a wrap.
Thank you,
Guys,
brother.
Thank you,
Make sure
fun.
you hit like and subscribe. If you know anybody could benefit from this video, send it to them. And to all the haters, keep talking. We love you too. See you next time.